Hello legends and super legends. Welcome to Veloharmony. Today we're going to be talking about the three main causes of saddle discomfort. This has been on the list for a long time, and I decided to go ahead and do this today because I've been getting a lot of comments on the channel, some direct messages where people are saying, I've already had a fit and I'm still having saddle sores. We had a new legend that said that. And then we had other people that are saying that I had a fit, but I got these little issues, my hand's getting numb or this and that. One of the guys that I'm coaching, Abel in Norway, he said that everything feels good, but the right hand is getting numb when I ride for a long time. And so there's a lot of things that cause these different issues. And so I want to focus on the three main things, and then we'll talk about some ancillary things. The first thing to go back and double and triple check is the saddle height. How does that feel? I continue to get these phantom experts that will come. They're not even subscribers. Just leave a comment that some guy watched the video where I was doing the pedaling dynamics, optimal pedaling, and he said that you should consider raising your saddle because you will get more power. And this is the myth that's been pushed out there. That's why most people's saddles are too high. You're not going to get more power from a high saddle. You actually get less power because you're only using one part of the stroke and only the quadricep muscle when the saddle's too high. So I just kind of laughed and, of course, discarded the message because it was somebody who had no clue what this channel was about, just saw one video and wants to give advice, and I don't even know what his background is. As they say, his palmares, so let's get back to the fact that your saddle height needs to be optimal. Optimal in terms of, you can start with the formula I suggested here. There are a lot of other formulas out there, but pay attention to what your legs and feet tell you. If you feel like you're reaching at the bottom of the stroke, lower that bad boy. Do it in small increments, 3 millimeters, sometimes even less. But about 3 millimeters is reasonable to feel the change. Don't feel like you have to make huge changes. It's the little changes when you're close that make the biggest difference. So, saddle height, get that optimal. Saddle fore aft. Where are you sitting on the saddle? Do you find yourself when you're riding wanting to scoot forward? If that's the case, move the saddle back in 3 to 5 millimeter increments till you don't have the need to scoot forward again. The reason you're scooting forward, your body says, I don't like where you're sitting. I want to sit here. Or if you scoot backwards, your body says, I don't like where you're sitting here. I want to sit there. If you scoot back, bring the saddle forward. So fore aft, saddle height. The third thing and the most neglected, your cleats. The reason is you can dial in the saddle height and the fore aft, but if your cleats are off in the placement on the shoe, what it does is basically it's fixed. So it's going to pull your foot one way or another. It may pull you too far forward because the foot won't like where it is in the shoe. And that's really one of the toughest ones to do. So what you want to think about in terms of when you're riding and you're sitting where you like, do you find yourself moving your feet? Do you find yourself twisting your foot to the side, pulling your foot back, pushing it forward to find where it mates with the shoe? Because that's what will make you do that. If it's not mating with the actual arch of the shoe perfectly, your foot, you will move your foot to find that spot. So if you're moving your foot backwards, what it says is the spot in the shoe that you like is behind you. You need to move that shoe forward. To move that shoe forward, you need to bring the cleat back. You do opposite of what you want to do and vice versa. So if you find that you're moving your foot forward for it to feel good in the shoe, then that means the shoe needs to come back to you. For the shoe to come back to you, you will move the cleat forward. If you find that you're twisting your foot right or left when you're riding to get it to feel good because it doesn't like where it is, that means the lateral adjustment. Make sure that the cleat is level, the toe in, tilt. So if you're moving your foot to the outside, you want to move that cleat to the inside. Opposite of what you're doing to get that shoe where your foot is saying. If you ignore that, you will constantly be making adjustments and moving your foot. And what ends up happening, you start putting pressure on your hands because your hands will try to unload the uncomfortable area. And so then you get the instance of where you're getting one hand numbing or whatever. There are other things that can cause your hand to be numb when you're dealing with the cockpit. But I wanted to focus today on the 3 things that will continue to give you saddle discomfort, because people have come to the channel and say, oh, I've got a fit. I had a fit done, but I'm still having saddle sores. If you're having saddle sores, that fit was not right for you. Or maybe you changed things after the fit. I don't really know. But you should not be having saddle sores when you ride the bike. Saddle sores says your saddle is in a position to where your pedaling is causing friction on your underparts against the saddle. That means your body's moving like this. It's not stable. And what causes your body to move like that? Too high of a saddle. When the saddle is in the right position, you have no side to side movement. Those of you who have seen some of the videos that I've shown, there was one ride we went to, I put a clip where the lady was riding and just literally looked like I don't know how she stayed on the bike. Her hips were like, so when you're rocking like that, your undersides are rubbing on that saddle. All those movement, you should have no movement. Your body should not be moving like this when you pedal. Your legs should just go down and come up. So tape yourself, do whatever, get somebody to look at you if you're trying to do it yourself, to make sure that you don't have any movement. It's the movement that's causing that rubbing. And so the follicles in your skin are getting infected, irritated, whatever. So if you're riding long, and I mean, other things can cause saddle sores, but I presume everybody knows you're supposed to wash your shorts after every ride. If you don't want to wash the lycra part, at a minimum, wash the pad to get any kind of bacteria or whatever that may be there out of the way. You got to, change your shorts after every ride. Wash your shorts. If you're traveling, wash your shorts, hang it in the bathroom in the hotel, whatever. But you should never re-wear a pair of shorts that you've ridden in, because that can cause you to have an infection as well. A lot of the newer shorts nowadays have antimicrobial treatment, which prevents the growth of microbes or bacteria. But that's no reason to not wash your shorts. You have to clean your cycling clothes after every time you use them, even if they don't smell bad, because nowadays some of the tops don't retain odor. That's no reason to not clean them. I mean, if you're on a cycling adventure and there's not any way to do it, yeah, I guess you could hang the jersey outside, but you at least find a bucket or a sink and wash that pad. Even if you can't do the lycra because of whatever reason, at least wash the pad. But because that can cause you to have other issues if you don't clean that. But the main reason for the saddle sores is friction. Even if the follicles in the hair is not infected, just the friction from that spot on your skin irritates the skin to the point where you start having these little boils. And if you neglect that, they can get to where they can become a cyst, and you may need a doctor to lance that. That's not a lot of fun. So don't put it off. And that's why, I don't understand for people who don't want to invest in fit. A couple of $100, or depending on where you live, $300 to make sure you're comfortable for the thousands of RPMs that we put on our body. It's such a minor investment. I don't know why people don't do that. But a lot of cyclists don't invest in their fit. It's unfortunate, but that's the key. Everybody thinks they know from looking at the pros or looking at this person. Those guys have access to fitters. They have fits done. When they change teams, that's the first thing they check. They check their position. So don't look at them and neglect the fact that you need a professional help, or you need information to help you. So I will summarize by saying, if you're still having saddle sores, check the saddle height, check the fore aft when you're riding. Don't ignore what your body is telling you. Check your cleats if you're moving your feet, or if your feet are getting numb, even if they're not getting numb. If you're riding and you having to move your foot around, that takes away from your riding. You should just be riding. You shouldn't have to be shifting your foot in the shoe. That tells you something's off. Since the cleat locks you in, you have to move that cleat to the proper position so your foot has no need to move around away from the sweet spot in the shoe where it mates with the arch of the shoe. So I wanted to mention those 3 things to focus on. And if you've gone through all of that and you still can't get it right, get some professional help. We've had a lot of requests from people on the channel here. That's why I set up the remote fit, and it's been very successful. A lot of people have used it. We have a good process in place now. Take advantage of it. I'll put the link here for you, because some riders can go 10, 15, 20, 30 years without having an optimal fit. And there's no reason for you to put yourself through that, because now you have the information available that they didn't have, to where they were still messing around. Because if you're trying to do it yourself and you don't know what you're doing and it's just not improving, it's time to solicit some help. Get some help. Invest in yourself and get your bike fitted for you, so you're confident and you're comfortable, and you will be able to generate the power you need and ride longer in comfort. So I just wanted to get that in today, and I hope this will help you guys and girls get your K's in.